Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chart Request Live. Today is July 14th, 2025. Coming to you live, my good friend, colleague, and co-host, Mr. Alfonso de Pablos. How are you doing today?
What is happening, Sam? Everything is going great. Everything is good. How are
Great.
you?
Well, I think everything's going well for me, but I don't think it's as good as you are. You're just out there gallivanting around Scotland, enjoying
Look,
yourself.
it was a very cool weekend, like a very different. We went to the Highlands, the Loch Ness. It was, a long day, all Saturday, but it's worth it. I mean, the views are beautiful. They're pretty good, and I highly recommend it if you're in Scotland. So yeah, it was really nice.
One day I hope to make it there, Alfonso.
You will, man.
Cool. Let's talk about the markets. I think everybody wants to hear about the Bitcoin, and that's the first chart you have here. So
Yeah, I
tell
mean,
us what you're seeing. For me, it's all about the commercial hedgers carrying their largest net long position ever as Bitcoin is making new all-time highs. I mean, what
I
are these
mean,
speculators thinking, Alfonso? Why are they shorting it so aggressively? I mean, it's great for me. If they weren't so dumb, I wouldn't be making so much money right now, but I I almost feel bad for them.
like I mean, the chart is pretty simple at this point. We're just breaking out around that 100 level here. We're just right in the middle of a potential target in that range, right? I think we can see Bitcoin about or around 150. We were very consolidating in a really tight range here. So after some weeks of consolidating in May, we finally explode higher, and I couldn't think of a more bullish outlook for crypto in general than seeing Bitcoin breaking out. Ethereum is doing well too. It's playing catch up. Look at the last 3 or 4 weeks, or 4 days here. It's trying to play catch up. Solana, it's looking good too.
I think an
Um,
interesting question right now, Alfonso, is the Bitcoin dominance. Has that peaked for the cycle? I think a lot of people
mm,
out there are thinking we're in a brand new alt season. This is like the melt up phase of the crypto cycle, the later stages where you see shit
I mean,
coins like I was looking at the banana for scale. Literally
I
the
mean,
best crypto in the world. Banana for scale. It's gone up like 10,000% in a few months.
yeah. I mean, look, I don't think we're in that part of the cycle yet. I mean, things are very quiet out there. In my opinion, it's been kind of different from previous cycles. So, that makes me like crypto at this point. Not all the crowd is jumping in, and so far. And for me, this is an interesting chart. This is Ethereum, Bitcoin. We just bounced right in the 2019, 2020 lows. If it's Ethereum, we can talk about Ethereum, like a proxy for altcoins, more maybe a little bit more junky names in the crypto space relative to Bitcoin, right? So as long as we're above those highs, I think I'm open to the idea to see some rotation back into these altcoins and meme coins. These junky names. Why not? I mean, if you look at Dogecoin, it's setting up really nicely right here. I mean, we completed that reversal base, and we're after a hard pullback here, we're trying to bounce back. So 16 level, 17 level, it's key in the Dogecoin. And this is like the bellwether of the meme coins. With Dogecoin, everything started. So seeing the bellwether here in this space of this group, just catching up and finding some support here at former resistance, it's at least very constructive in my opinion.
Totally, yeah. Well, yeah, crypto's looking great, Alfonso, but we have a big mailbag to get to today, so we should
Yeah,
start
let's do
digging
it.
through that. Of course, if anybody in the YouTube chat has a ticker for us, please drop it in the chat and we will try to get to it today. If you want us to cover your ticker at the beginning of the show, you can send us an email, questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and we'll be sure to cover it first thing in the next show. But first up today, Alfonso, we have SoFi. So
Ooh.
SoFi has been a dog for some time now, but boy, has it caught up here recently. And this chart's kind of reminding me of Robinhood.
It looks very similar, right? I mean, yeah, we had that IPO in December 2020. We made a high here, and then we completely fall apart. Let me see, like 84, 85%, right? And it's interesting because when you mentioned SoFi, it's one of, I don't know, I will say one of my favorite names out there in our hot corner universe. I mean, the CEO, Anthony Noto, but like, between March 2022 and May 2024, he filled like 22 Form 4s
Is that unusual, Alfonso? So like, some CEO of a stock that's gotten the crap kicked out of it, they start accumulating shares. How many times do they file for that? Is it usually more like a handful of filings? Is 20 very unusual?
Look, I mean, what I like it, or what it makes this filing or this insider activity different than other ones is the amount of filings, right? It just not just step in around this bottom or December 2023. No, I mean it was accumulating that base. So it's interesting to see his first purchase was around, I don't know, like around 10, around this area here in 2022, and his latest purchase was made in May 2024. So around this area here, right? And now just look, the stock just completed a classic reversal base. This is a classic, random bottom formation. We already reclaimed 38%, and now we're just reclaiming the 61.8 retracement level here. So as long as we're above 19, I think we're heading towards 28, and I think we will see 28. Even though that it's been a little bit parabolic in the past few weeks, I think the bias is here to the upside.
Totally. It looks great. And, all of its peers also look awesome. Robinhood just keeps on chugging along, and financials at large look great. And we have some action in the chat here. People want to see KBE, KRE. It's no secret, Alfonso. Financials are hot.
I agree. I mean, and now banks are catching up. Here is the overlay chart. Robinhood and SoFi, they look very similar. So basically, we can say SoFi is playing some catch up here, right? But it's a similar concept. It's similar logic as Robinhood, right? So yeah. It's looking good. It's looking good. These are beautiful bases here. So that's what it's saying.
Totally, Alfonso. Let's move on to Dorian. Wants to see Nike or Dick's Sporting Goods. I think Nike is more interesting here. You can zoom out on that and show the failed top and then the huge earnings reaction just a few weeks ago. I think that was it, Alfonso. This is likely not going to be a top. This is a great American brand. I think this is where you buy the dip in Nike.
It's a classic failed top, right? This was like a potential monster top here. Like 7-year top information here. This was a very critical level, around 65. We dipped below this level, but buyers step in very fast, quick. They repair the damage, and right now we're back above. So I mean, we can argue that the bears were trapped here, but again, I would like to see some follow through to the upside, right? It's been a little bit mess, but Buyers did what they have to do back in, like a couple of weeks ago. And if we're above that level around 65, I mean, why not, right? I think that's my question. I don't know if we show Nike relative to XLY, that's the consumer discretionary sector here. We're just bouncing at a critical level of former resistance back in the 2000s, right? In late 90s, right? So if there is a place and a level for Nike to step in and catch, some outperformance within the discretionary sector, I think this is the level, right? So this is a great chart. I think this is a very interesting level here for Nike, and it's all coming into into the intermarket puzzle too.
Totally. And I found it really fascinating how June 26th was their earnings reaction day, and they had their second best earnings reaction ever. That's what caused this scoop and score, Alfonso. So it's not just a technical setup, but you also have the fundamentals backing it up.
Like a fundamental catalyst.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Matches the technical setup. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if we add the relative strength relative to XLY, I think it supports the idea of that it's a potential. It's already like a failed move and a failed top. So yeah, I like it.
Totally. Now let's move on to Symbotic. Let's talk a little bit about robotics, the more speculative side of the market, Alfonso. So Symbotic, I'm not sure if he's still a big shareholder, but I remember Masayoshi's son of SoftBank in Japan was getting pretty involved in this near the top there, of course.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's been an absolute rocket ship though the last few weeks. April lows.
It has gone parabolic, right? Has gone vertical.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice base. It's a little bit of a mess here, but for me the key is that price reclaim with authority that VWAP from the ultimate highs, right? I think we're in the middle of that range. I would like to weight it, I don't know, like at 60. I think it's heading towards 60, 65, probably that area. Just notice how, here again, this parabolic move started with a potential, not a potential, but a failed move here, right? This key support from September of last year, and now it's been confirmed with price back above the VWAP from the all-time high. So right now I don't have like a clean level, to be honest, in this name.
I like buying a breakout on this one because it's already gone up so much, Alfonso. Like I think that's really important to consider is where has this thing come from?
Yeah, it was just in April when the market bottomed, it was at 17, and right now it's 45, 46. So I would likely to see it right here at around 58 or 60, and then a nice and healthy consolidation, and then a breakout. I think that would be the most ideal scenario for this one. But right now we are in that middle of the range, so I wouldn't touch it at this point, right? So I will just wait for it, for price to head into this resistance level and then see what happens. So.
Totally. We're in a raging bull market, Alfonso. You can be selective with your setups, and this is just not something I would choose. This is kind of messy. I can do better than this,
Yeah, look, the entry, you can just choose, for example, 33, or buying the breakout of the VWAP back, in late June. But right now we're in the middle of a potential target on resistance, in the middle of that wide range. So yeah, the chart looks good, but I wouldn't do anything right now with this one. Maybe 60 consolidation here and maybe bet, and an upside resolution, but we will see.
Yeah, and let's shift back to financials, Alfonso, and talk about a little Brazilian regional bank. Can you guess
Oh,
what I'm about
okay.
to say? ITUB.
Yeah.
Yes, you are good, Alfonso. Let's
Great.
talk about the ITUB.
Okay.
Yeah, Hansen wants to see this chart and is interested in a 3-month trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of like channels, right? But this one looks pretty clean here. You
Yeah,
know,
it's just a difficult thing to trade. Like the market, we've seen it time and time again. The market respects these channel lines, but for us as traders, it's not all that helpful. It's hard to
yeah,
define risk and reward using those channels.
yeah. I mean, if you zoom out, the chart is a complete mess, right? I mean, this is a monster base. It will be interesting if price can get, around 850, right? This shell former high from the 2008, 2010, 2018. But if we zoom in here, I mean, this is a failed
Yeah,
breakout.
this is gross.
Yeah, it's gross. I mean, and it was one of the best looking charts, in Brazil just like a couple of weeks ago. With this break had been right now we just gapped down. I think on Thursday, and it's putting like a failed move. And as long as we are below this level around 650, I mean, you can own it. I mean, it's impossible for me to get involved in the long side. The risk is, to the downside here, or at least sideways, right? So this move here, it's telling me that ITUB needs more time to complete this base, because it's a really nice base. It's a really nice base, but it needs more time to break out with authority and start a new like higher from here. So the level in the short term, in the intermediate term, it's very clean. So just mark it up at 6.5, and you can define risk over there. So
And this is a
that's
good one to keep an eye on if you're buying Brazilian stocks. This is the third largest component of EWZ. So this is,
yeah. I mean, the EWC, it's this year has been looking a little bit more constructive than other years. If you look at this chart of the ETF, it's kind of a mess. But again, failed move here in January 2025, getting back above this support. Open the doors to think Brazil can have some constructive action this year, and they have been doing not bad at all. Especially if you look, some of the other components, for example, STNE. Just look at this massive uptrends, basically since the start of the year. Double basically this year. So yeah, I mean, I think some consolidation here could be more than logic, right? At this point, we're seeing some retracements in recent days. So yeah.
cool. Let's move on to Dominic. Wants to pick one here, Alfonso. Raymond James Financial, that's RJF, Ralph Lauren, RL, or Welltower, that's ticker WELL.
I mean,
No, Raymond James, RJF, not Regions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
There you
mean,
go. This is a better chart than Regions anyways, so.
Yeah, that's true. Look, it's so clean. It's super clean. Nice uptrend here. I'm just drawing the FIB extension, based on the 2018-2020 base. This was a monster base back in the day, and we're right below the 423 extension, right? I mean, and what I like when the FIB works this way in a particular stock or in a particular chart, is that, once they respect the first extension, it tends to respect the other ones. And right now, I mean, this is a great example, right? So, we're in the middle of the range, but buyers are in control. You know, prices above the viewer from the all-time highs, but we're not right there at this resistance, right? We're just approaching. So I will just wait for a decisive break at about 170. I think if we can break out about 170, I think we're heading to 50. But it's a really really nice chart here, and it's interesting because we tend to see some prolonged consolidations here. Between 2018, 2021, between 2022, 2024. I'm not saying that we're going to see a prolonged consolidation here, but I will prefer just to buy on a strength above 170. That will make me feel comfortable and with enough conviction to trade this one. So it's a good chart.
It is, yeah. And a lot of financials today, Alfonso. We were just looking at a Brazilian financial. This is an American financial.
Mm-hmm.
Let's change gears and look at a Canadian financial.
Oh, okay.
Jeff wants to see Brookfield Corporation. That's ticker BN.
What's the market cap in this one?
This is $100 billion. I'll do some research here and find how big it is in the EWC, but I suspect it's pretty big.
Beautiful. I mean, is this a financial name or no?
This is the fifth largest holding in the EWC, the Canadian stock market ETF. So that makes it about 3.6% of the total weight. And financials, as a reminder, are the largest component of Canada. Makes about 37% of the total ETF, and energy is number 2 at 16%. So financials are more than twice the second largest holding.
No, I mean this is a really good chart. So far, I will say my favorite. I have to be honest. This is a nice base. It looks exactly like the software, like the IGV, or no? It looks very similar.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Alfonso.
It's the same. It's the same chart. It's interesting. Just they get overlaid, right? They look more or less the same.
Yeah, twins.
So back to the chart, Brookfield Corporation. Again, we broke out in September 2024. We almost hit the target here. It was a move coming from a nice base from back 2021. We had a hard pullback, a failed move here. We were just back into the range, but now buyers step in and trap the bears and literally completed the V since the April lows, and right now we're just hovering there at a key extension level. 64 is the big level. We're heading to just all-time highs here, and the risk level, it's very well defined. So a break above 64, like a long target, I don't know, 86. I mean, I can see this name embarking on a new uptrend here if we break out above 64. So I really like it. I really like how this chart looks. So
me too. And this is a Canadian one, so I'm not really sure how their business operates, but I assume they have a lot of energy exposure. And we have someone in the mailbag here who wants to have a larger energy discussion, Alfonso.
Okay.
So they're looking at TTE, which is a French behemoth, but it looks kind of gross, to be honest. And then they're also looking at BP, ExxonMobil, and Chevron. To me, these all sound like a lot of integrated oil and gas stocks, but I think the real question that they were trying to get at, Alfonso, was what's the relative strength inside of energy? Is it the pipelines? Is it the what? You tell us.
I mean,
is it uranium? Uranium looks pretty good.
I mean,
you just stay away from oil and gas altogether, because I don't know. People keep telling me that crude oil is going to have a new bull
To
market here soon, but it just I need to see more, Alfonso.
Yeah,
Frank,
I mean, of course. I mean, yeah, I think we agreed on that, right? I will, think. I think everything started, with crude oil at least not breaking down from this top information, right? So far, we're back above support. We got some follow through here, and we are just staying right here. But for me, I will try to keep it simple. And for me, the chart for energy is XLE, right? As long as we're below this key level of former highs, key resistance level, it will be really hard to bet on energy, in my
you're
opinion.
asking for a headache, right? This is a range-bound market. The XLE and crude oil, the path of least resistance, is decisively sideways.
It's
Me,
sideways.
as a market technician, I want nothing to do with a sideways trend.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not only this year. I mean, if you look the most recent consolidation in XLE, it's been since mid, for over 3 years ago, right? So energy has been consolidating below this key resistance level for 3 years. I think it eventually will join out. Energy tend to outperform and start participating at the end of the cycles, right? So so I think it eventually will go, right? It eventually will have their moment, and we will get some rotation. But for me, it's everything, all about the 100 level in XLA. If we're below 100, I will just stay away from energy. I think you can just try to find some very key level of resistance and risk level in some individual names. For example, here's ExxonMobil here, very a little bit different from XLE. We're not consolidating below resistance, but above one, right above the 2014 high. So I like the Exxon. How about the Chevron here?
I think the
Just
Imperial oil looks pretty interesting. If
oh
you
yeah,
really need energy exposure, I think Imperial oil is hard to
bro,
beat.
yeah,
Best
yeah.
energy stock in the world.
Yeah, that's probably the best energy chart out there. And again, I mean, it's not a coincidence that prices above that shallow former high from 2008, 2014. So I will just trying to spend some time looking for those type of stocks that are above resistance, and now holding above support, right? So Imperial Oil, it's probably one of the best looking charts in energy. Look at this tight range here. It's trying, we're right there making new all-time highs, basically. So this is a daily chart.
What I think is really interesting about this one, Alfonso, is ExxonMobil owns 70% of Imperial Oil. So it's a low float situation. And of all of the stocks listed in the United States, this one has the second highest days to cover ratio, as days to cover ratio of 45.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
impressive, man.
it's a low floater. Like the short interest isn't crazy. I think it's just that low float
Wow,
situation.
I mean,
But
it's 12%
yeah,
short interest and 47. Wow, I mean, days to cover.
yeah. And this is like what is it, $100 billion stock? Like it's not a penny stock. This is 42 billion. So it's nothing to sneeze at.
From Canada. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, but so far, the chart is looking so good. So I think this one will be, my choice to get some exposure, some individual equity exposure in energy at this point, right? It's showing some relative strength. So
Totally. And it's Canadian too, which I love. Like
it's Canadian. We just started
I'm
looking in Canada, right?
yeah, yeah. I love that.
So
Let's shift gears a little bit. I can't believe we've made it through this whole show without talking about China and communism. because it's looking really nice, Alfonso. Let's look at GDS. So this is one of my personal favorite Chinese equities. This is
Really?
a $7 billion
Wow, looking
Chinese
good.
data center stock. Looks really nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When a Chinese stock looks good, you just have to, just respect them.
It's from
I mean,
Pudong, China.
it's yeah. No, I mean the chart looks good. The chart looks good. I like that. The China theme this year has been, a big story, especially in the first quarter of the year. Since then has been, some, consolidation in a healthy way, digesting some of the gains from late last year and early this year. But this chart, has all the ingredients, to embark of a new like higher here. We're just having that confirmation right now. We're just reclaiming the bigger from the all-time highs, and this is a classic bearish to bullish reversal base. So, as long as we're above 30, I will say 30, the big web from the all-time highs, I think the path of least resistance is higher. I think we can see it at 48. That will represent the 38.2 retracement level. That in fact, it already acts as a resistance here in February. So, what I like from this chart is how clean the reversal base is, and the fact that prices right now confirming not only above the breakout level from the base, but above the VWAP from the all-time highs. I think that adds and supports a bullish outlook in this company. So
Yeah, looks great. I think I'm going to get involved in this one, Alfonso.
it's looking good, man. It's looking good.
Yeah,
It's looking
and this
really
is all
good.
we have from the mailbag for today, but the chat is absolutely on fire today, Alfonso. I've never seen this much action in the YouTube chat. I appreciate you all being here. Huge shout out to Mr. Zerby, a frequent Chart Request Live commentator. We've got Jonathan, we've got OVO Bone, we've got Adam here.
Wow.
Let's see, we have Elijah, my brother's in the chat. How cool is that?
Nice.
So a ton of tickers. We obviously don't have time to get to all of them. So if you want us to cover your ticker in the next show, do not hesitate to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and we will be sure to cover it first thing in the next Chart Request Live at the same time, same place next Monday. But, Alfonso, I think the best way to end this show is with copper futures. Let's talk about copper. We were just talking about China. You can show that long-term positive correlation between Chinese equities and copper futures, Mr. Dr. Copper. And, if Dr. Copper is having its best day ever, do you think Chinese equities are going to go down? I don't.
No. And we're seeing it in price, right? We're seeing Chinese equities, trying to catch up here. And what is interesting about this move we saw last week in copper, we call it momentum thrust, right? So it's interesting because they tend to happen, in two types of situations, like in blow up tops or at the beginning of new uptrends. And for me, copper is making new all-time highs, right? It's trying to break out of this, 14-year base. If we drop a resistance level here, it's so clean, right? It's so clean. I know you have been talking about a lot of the theme in the gold rush videos, but the cycles tends to start with gold. Broke out in April. I think it was in April of last year.
No, March 4th of 2024.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that date. What a beautiful date that is.
Okay.
We also have a lot of people asking about like platinum and palladium in the chat, and we don't have to chart it out, Alfonso, but I think just building on what you're saying there is the rotation is seriously taking place right now.
Yeah, I think if we look at at gold, it's been consolidating right here. Just look at this monster chart. I mean, monster uptrend here. Let me overlay it with copper here, and you will see what I'm talking about.
They're twins, in case
There are
you.
twins. There are twins, and copper. It's just looking just like gold did, last year, right? Same thing for silver. So gold tends to move first, and then it comes, silver, copper. Now we're seeing a big moves in palladium, platinum. So the entire, metal space is moving. I know if we take a look at the XME
Yeah,
ETF.
big gap and go last week. And
Oh
Alfonso,
yeah,
I was on the morning show today, and I was asked if we'll see triple digit silver prices, and I said that we'll see triple digit silver by the end of this decade. Are you taking the over or the under on that?
I think soon. I think we will see it this decade.
Nice. Okay, Alfonso.
I think we're gonna see it this decade.
Cool. I'm here for it. Totally.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
these miners are moving like crazy. There are fortunes to be made right now in precious metals.
I mean, look. The thing is that we're heading some overhead supply.
And this is what they mentioned on the morning show today, Alfonso. But look at those. Like those were textbook blow off tops each time. Like how much volume was done up here at $50? Like I don't think a lot. I don't think there's a lot of bag holders waiting to unload their silver on you once it gets back to $50.
No, I mean, but I think, I don't think silver will just rip through these levels, at the first attempt. I think we can head like 47, 48. Maybe we just made like a new all-time highs, but we will consolidate around this area. I think that's what what we can see. But eventually, in the long term, I think this base will be completed this decade, and I think, why not? Why not 100?
Such a beautiful chart. I love this. Like 50-year cup and handle. Come on, this is going to be in every single technical analysis textbook in 15 years.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. I mean, if this chart complete, we will see this chart, in the textbooks in the following year. So it's textbook cup and handle, monster base, big level around 50. I think we're on the way, right? We're right on the way to 50. But yeah, I will just bet that we will see silver 100 at the end of the decade. So
that's a big call, Alfonso. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's end the show there. Mic drop. I appreciate everyone being here, though. Jonathan, Mr. Zerby, Ovio Bone. Got Sir Sigma in the chat, so it's lit. And if we didn't cover your ticker and you want us to in the next show, email us questions@stockmarketmedia.com and we will cover it first thing next Monday. As always, thank you all for being here. This was a ton of fun, Alfonso. We had some good tickers today. We had the Symbotic, kind of interesting.
It was really good.
Did you have a favorite ticker? I think for me personally, it's the GDS. I'm interested in exposure to China. I don't have enough of that, and it keeps me up at night. So I need to sleep better. So I'm going to buy more China.
No, I like it. I will say, the GDS. I have to say the SoFi, but I really like the chart of Brookfield, ticker symbol BN. Yeah,
great chart. And financials are so hot right now. So, yeah, there's a lot of tailwinds there for the Brookfield.
Yep.
Cool. I like it a lot. Let's end the show here. As always, we'll be here same time, same place next Monday. And everybody have a great week, and we will talk to you again later. Adios.
Thank you, everybody.